I never believed in monsters, not until that fateful night when I encountered one in the last place I ever expected, my own closet. It all began when I moved into my new apartment. It was a quaint, old building with creaky wooden floors and a history that whispered through the walls. The landlord had assured me that it was perfectly safe, but there was something about the closet in the corner of my bedroom that gave me an uneasy feeling. The closet was a relic from another era, with a heavy wooden door that had seen better days. It didn't latch properly, and I often had to shove it shut with extra force. In the beginning, it was nothing more than a minor inconvenience, but as the days turned into weeks, strange things started happening. I would wake up in the middle of the night to the faintest whispering, as if someone were speaking softly behind the closet door. At first, I dismissed it as a figment of my imagination, but the whispering grew louder, and I could make out faint words like, "Come closer," and "Open the door." I attributed it to stress or sleep deprivation, but the terror in those hushed voices made it impossible to ignore. I tried to rationalize it, thinking it must be my overactive imagination playing tricks on me, but every night the voices persisted. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the room darkened, I heard the whispering once more. This time the voices were clearer, almost seductive, urging me to open the closet door. I couldn't resist the compulsion any longer. I reached out for the handle and slowly, ever so slowly, I turned it. The door creaked open, revealing a void of impenetrable darkness. I stood there, paralyzed by fear and curiosity. What could possibly be lurking in the depths of my closet? Suddenly, a gnarled hand, like a twisted tree root, shot out from the abyss, grasping my wrist with a strength that defied reason. I tried to pull away, but the grip was unrelenting. Panic surged through me as I watched in horror as a monstrous creature emerged from the closet. Its eyes, bloodshot and malevolent, pierced through the darkness. A putrid smell wafted from its foul breath as it bared jagged yellow teeth in a grotesque smile. Its emaciated body was covered in tattered rags, and its skin was a sickly shade of gray. The creature's presence was suffocating, and the room grew colder with each passing moment. My screams echoed through the apartment building, but it seemed as though I was the only one who could hear them. The other tenants remained undisturbed, locked in their peaceful slumber. It was as though I had been singled out for this terrifying ordeal. The creature spoke, its voice a guttural growl that sent shivers down my spine. "You opened the door," it hissed. "Now you must pay the price." I begged for my life, pleaded for mercy, but the monster was relentless. It dragged me closer to the closet, its grip tightening with every step. I could see the void within the closet growing larger, beckoning me to step inside. My world was reduced to the malevolent eyes of the monster and the endless darkness of the closet. As I approached the gaping maw of the closet, I felt a strange sensation wash over me. It was as if I were being pulled into a different dimension, a nightmarish realm beyond my comprehension. The creature's sinister laughter echoed in my ears as I was consumed by the darkness. In that instant, I became trapped in a world of perpetual terror. Every fear I had ever known manifested in grotesque forms that haunted me day and night. The closet had become a gateway to my own personal hell, and the monster was its gatekeeper. Days turned into weeks, and my sanity slowly unraveled as I struggled to survive in this nightmarish existence. I became a prisoner of my own fears, tormented by the monster in the closet and the horrors it unleashed upon me. I often find myself wishing I had never opened that cursed door. But it's too late now. I am forever bound to the darkness, a captive of the monster in the closet, condemned to a life of unending terror. So, if you ever hear a faint whispering coming from your closet in the dead of night, do yourself a favor and resist the temptation to open that door. You never know what horrors may be lurking on the other side. The room was cast in a blanket of darkness, the kind that breeds the deepest fears. I lay in bed, cocooned by my covers, the only sanctuary against the terrors that lurked in the night. I was always warned about the monsters under the bed as a child, but I never believed in them. However, that fateful night changed everything. My name is Lucas, and I was a skeptic until I encountered the horror that dwelled beneath my bed. It started with a subtle scraping noise, so faint I mistook it for the wind at first. But as I strained my ears, the noise grew louder, distinct, and menacing. The sound seemed to originate from beneath the bed, a place where darkness swallowed all light, shrouding whatever lay within. My heart pounded like a war drum in my chest, every beat a reminder of my vulnerability. I dared not move, for fear that any disturbance might invite whatever horror lingered in the shadows. The scratching sound persisted, now accompanied by a guttural growl that resonated through the room. I clutched the edge of my blanket, my knuckles turning white, a feeble attempt to shield myself from the impending dread. Then, a putrid stench, like decay and damp earth, wafted into my nostrils. It was the smell of something malevolent, something inhuman. My breath caught in my throat, and a cold sweat coated my skin. I wanted to scream, to call for help, but terror had rendered me voiceless. I was alone in my struggle against the unknown. I peered cautiously over the edge of the bed, my eyes straining to penetrate the impenetrable darkness. Yet, there, in the shadows, two piercing orbs of red glowed like fiery embers, unblinking and fixed upon me. A surge of terror shot through me as I scrambled back against the headboard, my heart racing faster than before. The creature revealed itself, its eyes burning with an otherworldly intensity, an entity born from nightmares. It seemed to slither, a mass of sinew and darkness, elongated limbs that moved with an unsettling grace. Its skin, if it could be called that, was a sickly shade of gray, mottled and textured like decaying bark. Sharp, pointed protrusions adorned its form, resembling twisted, jagged branches. I tried to suppress the screams that threatened to burst forth. What monstrous creation was this, lurking beneath my bed, waiting to devour me? Its grotesque appearance was a manifestation of terror itself. The creature's elongated fingers extended, caressing the floor with a sickening scrape. It moved with a calculated, predatory patience, inching closer, its red eyes never leaving mine. I was ensnared by its gaze, a prisoner to its malevolent intent. I could feel its breath now, a hot, rancid exhalation that made me retch. Its lips peeled back, revealing rows of serrated teeth, dripping with an ominous, viscous saliva. In a moment of sheer desperation, I reached for the lamp on the bedside table, fumbling to turn it on. The sudden burst of light flooded the room, momentarily banishing the darkness and revealing the horror that haunted me. But as the light enveloped the space under the bed, the creature let out a screeching howl, a sound that pierced through my very soul. It recoiled, retreating into the shadows, vanishing like a specter. Trembling, I sat in the glow of the lamp, my heart still thundering within my chest. Was it a figment of my imagination, a manifestation of my deepest fears, or a real entity that defied comprehension? I stayed awake the rest of the night, the blanket pulled tightly around me, the light burning until dawn's reassuring rays crept through my window. I never dared to glance under the bed again, for fear of what lurked in the unfathomable darkness. And though the room appeared normal in the light of day, the memory of that sinister presence haunted me, a chilling reminder that some horrors exist beyond the realm of understanding, waiting in the shadows, ready to strike when darkness falls. Hello, my name is... Never mind. But I do want to thank you for clicking the link. But since you're here, you need to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and do hit the bell so you do know when the next real scary story is told. But if not, I'll be waiting for you in the dark.